I'm Mr. Reckless Abandoned Lazarus Black.
And I am the deranged behemoth Ryan Mantis.
And together, we are
the Black Society.
And you, my friends, are watching Hashtag Truth
with Scott Larson. Roll it.
Watch it all fall down around you now. Was it ever really worth it? Having your kingdom crumble to the ground? Because you never had the courage. Stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up.
King Enterprises. Badasses selling badass merchandise. Unlike others, we have cool logos and quality products. You know you love the bad guys, and we're the coolest bad guys in the Southeast. If the Asian sensation says it, then you know it's not just true, it's damn true. We have the Syrian Sheik and the Man on Fire, Fuego Calderon, as well as the man who is too cold to hold, the Freak Daddy, A.J. Frost. And let's not forget the Young Wolf, J.C. Wolf, and his tag team partner, the Singapore assassin himself, Zay Vega. You know the Asian sensation loves the ladies, so he made sure that there are things for you too. Leggings, totes, tees, and tanks designed for women. Find everything you need at our online store, kingenterprises.store.
All right, there you go. And everybody, welcome to Hashtag Truth. Tonight we have the one, the only AJ MacIntyre. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good. How about yourself?
I am doing great. And as you saw in the opening of the promo, kingenterprises.store, I have to tell you guys, check it out. The Hashtag Truth Wrestling Podcast shirt is on kingenterprises.store. So if you want one, go find it and buy it. It's a good buy. And it helps me. It benefits me for my brain surgery, which is coming up in February. And I thank everybody who's already bought a shirt. So AJ MacIntyre, man, we are here. It's been a while. You've asked a couple of times to come on the show. We finally got it together.
I'm glad.
Talk to me about how you got into professional wrestling.
Oh, that is a funny story. I was probably one of the youngest kids at the gym in my hometown. And there was a sign up on the bulletin board that said, want to be a pro wrestler, call Ed. And it gave a number, and it was World Pro Wrestling. I'm like, I've never heard of World Pro Wrestling, but okay, I'll call, And I was underage. And so I called the number, and I was real nervous. And he says, with your $200 tryout, after you make your tryout. And he started giving me this long sales speech. I mean, it was a long one, man. It was about how he was going to buy all the gear for me. I would buy the gear directly through him. I would buy my boots directly through him. Not to go and buy anything on my own because the quality out there wouldn't be what he could get. And I mean, honestly, it was a scam. And
wow.
He told me, he says, he goes, do you know where the Nelson Royals Western store is? And I said, yeah. And this is when things got kind of sly because my family had been involved with the junior rodeo for years and years. My aunt, Betty Wilson, used to work with Hannah Laws, who was a very famous barrel racer.
Okay.
And so, we knew Nelson, we knew Nelly. And so what happened was Ed has me going up and down the road, and he ran me from 7:30 in the morning to 6:30 at night, man. I thought I was going to die. And the whole thing was he was going to run me to death and then tell me I didn't have what it takes and then take my money. And I said, well, this school, I said, you say it's near Nelson Royals. I said, I think I'll go in and talk to Nelson. He said, oh, no. Don't bother Mr. Royal. He's a busy man. When you make it, when and if you make it, we'll talk to him. I said, okay. Well, that went through one ear and out the other, man. First thing I did is I went and talked to Nelson. I said, Nelson, I'm supposed to be having a tryout for your school today. I said, is there any kind of tips you want to give me, any kind of hints? I said, because my cousins, which I don't tell a lot of people, one of my cousins is Jack Jackson, who was an enhancement guy for the NWA Mid-Atlantic. Nice. And my other two cousins were very famous, Jackie and Sonny Fargo, the Fabulous Fargos.
Nice.
And I had that door open at one time, and I'm like, nah, I'm going to make it on my own. I kind of admired Barry Windham because he never just went around and saying, I'm a mulligan. Right. He made it on his own. He made his own mark. But anyway, I went and told Nelly, I said, Nelly, I said, yeah, Ed's going to have me doing tryouts up there. And he goes, okay, well, what time you figure you'll be done? I said, I have no idea. I said, he's told me, I got to do 1,000 free squats, 250 push-ups, 150 sit-ups, 20 suicides, and there was some other stuff I can't even remember. And he says, okay. So it was about lunchtime. And I don't know if you knew anything about Nelly or not, but he drove a great big red Suburban.
Okay.
And when you'd hear that Suburban crank up, you could hear it crank up over the hill.
Oh,
it was loud. It was blah, 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 blah. I mean, coming up through, and it went coming up through the road, coming up the driveway there beside the U-Haul place next to the ring. And I hear Nelson roll down his window, and Ed says, you can stop now, take a break. And I go over, and I'm sitting on the ditch, and I've done puked in the road. I've done passed out. I got to the point where I was running wasn't even on the menu anymore, man. I was
you were spent.
Walking, I was walking on my toes, man. He was trying to kill me.
Yeah.
And if you think what I went through is bad, you ought to find out what Nelson really put guys through. But anyway, so I hear Nelson tell him, he says, Ed, I heard you got some money for me, and don't make me come looking for you because I know where you live.
Wow.
I went, oh boy. And I had already been talking to Nelson for years and years at the store. Right. And this one kid named Brad, who owed Nelson money, who decided he was going to go to New York and start wrestling. I seen Nelson pull out his black book and make a phone call, and that kid didn't wrestle anymore.
Wow. Oh yeah.
So
he's got some pull.
Yeah, you didn't come between these old timers, and you didn't owe them money. You wouldn't do it.
Well, you got plenty of people watching, sir. Let me go through some of these real quick. Brew Capone said, "Don't nobody care about King Enterprises." Of course, that's somebody from the Mafia, Appalachian Mafia. Brew said, "What's up, AJ?" After that.
All right.
Mr. Kent said the Scottish Lion is on #truth. Yes, he is. Jamie Buss said, I want AJ MacIntyre in a one-on-one match, just a friendly who has the upper hand.
Follow me.
And of course, leader of the Brotherhood said, soon to be the Brotherhood's first double champion.
That won't be the first time in my career that I've been a double champion.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in NWA Carolinas back, man, I'm old. I don't even remember what year it was. I was the television champion and the tag team champion at the same time.
Nice.
Lost it to Richie Steamboat.
Wow, so, very nice.
Yeah. Where was I at? I'm trying to think. So basically what happened was because this guy named Ed was trying to run a scam, Nelly got his money and sent Ed packing, and the school got opened back up. Right. And Jack Jackson was the one who was doing the school. Lee Ramsey came in and did some training. The advantage with me that I have over other people is I got to learn a bunch of different styles in a period of 2 years. Emilio Lucida, the Latin lover, God rest his soul, he was one of my trainers. A guy by the name of Tim Sells that nobody's ever heard of, who's a Kenny Rogers impersonator now. Nice. He was one of my trainers. Let's see, Jack Jackson, a guy who some people remember, some people don't. He was wrestling him was kind of like trying to wrestle a fire hydrant. His name was George Darby.
Very stiff is what you're saying, right? Very stiff.
Extremely stiff. I come up to the ring one time with an attitude because me and my future wife at the time had gotten into a fight, and I got into the ring with hostility.
Uh-oh.
And the next thing I know, I'm face down in the mat with the Fujiwara armbar on, saying, "Okay, I lit up." And so humbled my butt real quick.
That's when you know you're in there with an old school trainer, man. When he knows you enough to know that you got an attitude on you, and he's going to take that attitude out. And what better way to do it than in the ring, right?
Right. Well, see, it kind of instilled into me that the inside that ring was sacred. You will never find any footage of me anywhere where I didn't wipe my feet going into a ring.
Right.
I won't run in and do the power slides like some guys do because I can't wipe my feet and do that.
Right.
I'm very traditional.
Right.
And if it's boring to some people, so be it. I'm going to respect all the guys.
You can still come in and interfere and slide your feet and come in all cocky. I mean, you're a heel. I mean, most of the time you're a heel. So,
I've always been a heel.
Oh, okay. So you've always been a heel.
Pretty much.
You can still come in, and to me, sometimes it's better if you do the slow walk and walk up, because then it gives me more time to yell at you and boo at you and yell things at you. And I don't believe that you have to slide in at all.
Well, you think about it, probably the best heels that there's ever been. Greg Valentine was never in a hurry.
Right.
Dick Slater was never in a hurry. Jake Roberts was never in a hurry. Vader was never in a hurry.
Never in a hurry.
There's a long list of guys. King Kong Bundy was never in a hurry.
Yep.
Those guys were never in a hurry.
Nope. You never saw them do that slide in either.
Nope.
They walked up the steps and let people know they were there.
Well, see, I grew up as a kid actually imitating Baron von Raschke doing the claw. I'd walk around, slap. Yeah. And, Baron's matches was very simple. And you seldom ever seen him do a whole bunch of bumps. But he was over.
They were entertaining as hell, though. They were entertaining as hell.
Yeah. So basically, the school got. Sorry, I bounced around a little bit.
Good.
So basically, the school was kind of forced to open up just for me, and then some other guys came in at the same time. They came and they left just about as quick as they came in, and I'm going to leave those guys' names out of my mouth because they ain't here to even talk to me.
Right.
So, I guess did I answer your question? Okay.
Yeah, more. I that's awesome. See, I love stories like that because you get to hear the whole thing. You get all the information, and that's cool. So, who was your first match? Once you got everything ready and you were ready to go, who do you remember who your first opponent was?
Oh Lord, bless him. I'm so sorry about this. My first opponent was actually Lee Ramsey, who was one of my trainers.
Okay.
But they hadn't smartened me up. I got in the ring and I hadn't been smartened up.
Okay.
So Lee was pretty much in a legitimate fight with me in the ring. It was headlock takeovers, and I was stomping, and I was, oh man, if Lee's watching this anywhere, anybody knows Lee, tell him I'm sorry about that. Nelly didn't tell me.
So basically, you didn't get anything in, is what you're saying.
There was one point in that match. The ring, I'll say, was substandard that we were in.
Right.
And I had learned how to do a backdrop. I learned how to take backdrops.
Right.
But Lee had just had back surgery, and he wanted to test out the waters with a backdrop. So when I shot him into the ropes, I bend over, I brace off my thighs like I was taught to do. Mm-hmm. And he gets ready to post and come up off of me. And of course, I'm ready to throw him over. And when I get my hands on the top of his thighs to guide him, my left ankle rolls in. The whole ring shifted.
Oh, no.
So at this point, I'm immobile and I'm like crawling around the ring, right? I'm pulling myself up the ropes. And Lee comes in the corner and he's like, "You all right, kid?" I'm like, "My ankle's hurt." And he's like, "Stay down." And he throws me out of that corner and turns my head sideways and stomps my cheek. And then he picks me up one more time, reaches down into his tights and hits me with a handful of air. And that air knocked me ass over tea kettles, they say, right. Head over heels. So that was the end of that match. I mean, we had something completely he had something else completely in mind before that happened.
Right.
But
You ruined
but
the
that,
ending when you rolled your ankle.
well, see, the thing about it was, I thought we were legit till he says, "You okay, kid?" And I'm like, "Why do you care if I'm okay?"
Well, I'm pretty sure he didn't want to hurt you. I'm pretty sure he didn't want to
Well,
hurt
I
you.
mean,
I mean, that's not a cool thing to do, no matter who you are. He
well, like
probably
I said,
he probably realized when you went to do the backflip and your ankle rolled up and you like you said you couldn't get it. You probably didn't guide him very well. He probably didn't fall too well.
no, I'm sure he didn't. But that ain't even my fault, man. That whole ring
Right.
shifted. That whole ring shifted.
Right.
So
I'm pretty
it
sure
was.
he realized that too. I'm pretty sure he realized
Oh,
that too.
he was madder than crap about that ring. What it was it was a homemade ring, and
Right.
somebody had the plates that go on the floor.
Right.
Didn't sit flush to the floor, so they kind of teetered. And
Okay.
so yeah, that ring was crap.
Oh wow.
I hope they cut it down and melted it down, and because that thing was dangerous.
Did they? It sounds to me like they didn't do the cross bracing underneath it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people,
You talking about the
bring-
cross cables? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if they did or didn't.
It sounds
I
like
kept my rear end in the
didn't.
ring.
If
Yeah.
the ring was shifting, there couldn't have been. I mean that's terrible though. That is dangerous. I mean, I'm surprised that a lot of people didn't get hurt. Did they? Did a lot of people get hurt that night?
The ring ended up breaking. Agent Max and Agent Gunn of the Border Patrol, one of those power slammed the guy in the middle of the ring, and when they did, the thing kind of fell in, and the rest of the matches that night were done on the floor. Somebody had went and pulled a four. I ain't even making this up, man. Somebody had went and pulled a floor jack out of their car and jacked up the center of the ring. And if guys wanted to stand up and do the whole punch thing, they were good with that. But if anybody took a bump, it killed them because there wasn't no give. There wasn't nothing to even absorb any impact.
There was no bounce at all. Wow.
Right. And bounce isn't really that important because I trained in a really stiff ring.
Right.
But you want a little bit of give. And
Tim
like
wants to know,
did
he buy a gimmick ring? That sounds like a gimmick ring, one that would actually fall on purpose.
No, it was not gimmicked.
Oh, wow.
He built it himself.
Wow.
And apparently he don't know how to get post flat. That's all I can say.
Right. Well, Jenny Booth has a question for you. She says, AJ, do you know the Terminators?
I've been on shows with them in NWA Carolinas. You talking about the Terminators, Ken Spence? The guys Ken Spence trained?
I believe, I don't know. This is Jenny. If you're still watching, he wants to know if
I'm sure that's probably the same guys.
Yeah, probably.
They're tough.
Bruce watching. Tough. He said, "You got to take the title from our cold dead hands." We're gonna get into ACW and all some of the places that.
Bro, I'm gonna go ahead and say this. If you've ever seen The Princess Bride, As You Wish.
Oh snap! Did you learn the Little Donnie style, aka as the good style?
Did you learn it?
You learn a little? I don't know what that means, but Brew, okay, I got you. And Tim said he used to take pictures for Tim Sells. So there you go. And Arch said, talk about horrible craftsmanship. Well,
yeah. Oh, that's not the worst. No, I wasn't in this one. I canceled it on this show. It was up in Ellerby, North Carolina. There was a guy who got a ring. Well, he got the post anyway, and the cables. But as far as the floor goes, the what I call the catchers that run underneath, he had put 2x4s. 2x4s don't work.
No, not at all.
Chili Willie and a bunch of guys was on that show, but I stayed home.
Yeah, no doubt. Oh, I bet that was a disaster. Venom said, just one problem. I'm not a fairy tale. And Bruce said Venom is the true champion. They are really coming after you, man. So let's talk. Well, let's go ahead. I'm going to do a
it's
commercial
funny.
break.
They're
I'm
coming
gonna do
after me, and they got the belt, huh? So they're
Right?
coming after me. Boy, they must
They're
feel
talking
threatened.
crap to you, and you're the one chasing, right? But we're going to talk about that right after this quick commercial break. We got to do a commercial break. We'll be right back, and we'll talk about ACW and all the things that's going on in ACW.
This is 4 Foot Batman. And 4 Foot Batman knows the home of great collectibles at awesome prices, retro toys and collectibles, movie memorabilia, Magic the Gathering cards, wrestling figures, Hot Wheels, the always popular Funko Pops, and much, much more. He knows the Hall of Collectibles is located in downtown Cherryville, North Carolina, at 400 East Main Street. Give them a call today, 980-989-5181. Retro Toys and Collectibles, the heavyweight champion in collecting.
There you go. Retro Toys and Collectibles right there in Cherryville. I have been there many times. If you collect anything, and I do mean anything, get a hold of Cotton. He's the guy that runs that store. If he doesn't have it, he can get it. I guarantee it.
I'm gonna have to check that out because I like the horror collectibles, the Jason and the Michael Myers and those kind of things.
He's
probably
got
some
a
that kind
bunch
stuff.
of that there, man. I'm telling you, he does. If not, he knows how to get it. So he can get it for you, whatever you want. I've seen him do it. I mean, he's got everything in there from card collecting to any TV shows. I mean, he's got the old TV. He's got the old. I don't know how old this thing is, but it's a total metal thing of the Beverly Hillbillies, the car.
Oh wow!
And he's got it way up on the top shelf because I mean, it is really. I think it came out. I think they made it the year that the show was made. I mean, that's how old it is, and it still works and everything. And he's selling that up there. He's got all kinds of amazing things, man. Any
Yeah,
show,
I'll definitely have to check that out.
It's a good place, without a doubt. I love that place. So we were talking about ACW coming out of the break. A lot of people on the show here are here. We got it looks like we got Big Daddy C on here. We got Brew on here. So what's going on at ACW, man? Why are all these people telling you you can't win the championship? It sounds like you're chasing a lot of people.
Well, see, when I first came there, I told everybody, I said, I don't knock on anybody's door. They knock on my door. And everybody who knocked on my door lost. They lost to a Scott Lock. That's pretty much how they lost. Your buddy.
So what is the Scott Lock? What is the Scott Lock?
The Scott Lock is a type of leg hold in which there really is no reverse. So, you know, how you've got like figure fours and you can roll out and reverse a figure four. Right. There's even ways to roll through and reverse a Scorpion Deathlock.
Right.
There is no reverse for a Scott Lock. I let go when I'm good and ready.
Wow. Now, I've been out at ACW, but I have not seen you do a Scott Lock yet personally. But I will one of these days, because you know I'm a manager of one of the tag teams out there at ACW. Everybody knows that I'm the manager of Out of Darkness. So one of these days I will be watching all the matches, and I want to see that Scott Lock.
Can I say something? It's no disrespect to your team.
Go ahead.
Aftershock has felt the reverse version of the Scott Lock. He's such a big guy; it was hard to get it on him facing. So I got it on him the reverse.
Wow!
And he couldn't get out.
Wow! Was I there that night?
I don't know if you were or not. The thing that's the thing about it is what's kind of funny because everybody was like, "Oh, you know, you got no chance of winning the tag belts," and I'm like, "I've already beat your tag champions." So, you know.
I might have been there that night. Was that the night that they handcuffed me to the ring?
No, it was the time before.
The time before that. Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Like I said, I don't take anything away from anybody. You know, I'm supposed to be the bad guy and
look at that. He had to make sure he told me that my tag team was the former ACW tag team champs. Yes, they were. Yes, they were. But they're still the best tag team you have in your company, sir.
You know, I got a lot of respect for both of them. I got a whole lot of respect for Craven.
Right. Craven's a great guy.
He is. I give him a lot of props. and
We've
he's got
got-
a good
we've
mind for the business.
We've got a lot of people on here talking. Jenny Booth said Rex and Spike Nelson Royal trained them as well. They are tough guys. You were talking about them before.
Okay, yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah,
Big Daddy C said exactly. They know who the real threat to that belt is.
yeah.
Oh, here we go. We were just talking about this before the show. Bruce said, all joking aside, how is Miley doing?
Miley is tough. She's having trouble breathing. Both sides of her chest is filling up with fluid, and her abdomen is starting to protrude a little more. I've got a vet appointment for Friday, and I hope I make it in time.
Do us a favor. Give us a quick show. Let's see her. Let's see her if she's laying there.
Hold on.
There she is. Look at that. Look at Miley. Pretty puppy. Yeah, the pretty baby.
She puts her paws out in front of her. That puts a stretch on her chest, and it comforts her. Cause
That's awesome. I anything that gets her comfort, man. I hope she can do it because.
well, I've been using the Hempel, and that helps her a good bit. But if there was a way to show you how she was breathing, she's breathing really hard and really deep.
Right.
And it's because she's struggling to breathe.
I hate to see that on any animal, man. Like I told you before the show, man, I'm going to be praying for her big time. Everybody out there who's watching the show, pray for Miley. She needs it. I don't want to see any animal be in the position she's in, and I know it's hard on AJ too, and that's. I can see it in his face. It's hard on him, man. So we're gonna move on. Nothing against Miley, but we're gonna move on.
Fine.
Cheery. Rodney said hello to you, Scott Larson and AJ MacIntyre. How you doing, Rodney? Welcome to the show.
My old manager.
There you go. Jenny Booth says, "Who is your company? What company do you call home?"
ACW, Appalachian Championship Wrestling.
There you go.
In Vail, North Carolina.
Speaking of that, really, I would take AJ and NBP over any tag team you wanted to throw at him. Okay.
Yeah, natural born player. He was Manny's protege, and I was Nelson's protege. So you figure it out.
Bobby Slam said, "Cute puppy, prayers for her."
Thank you, Bobby.
Rodney said that's right about being the manager. He remembers.
Oh, yeah, we raised a lot of sand.
Outlaw says, I hope that puppy is okay, but Flight Risk will take the AC. Boy, I'll tell you what, them ACW tag team titles, they are, it sounds to me like they're more premier than the heavyweight championship.
It sure seems that way.
It sure does. Everybody's going after them. But let's get back to you, AJ. Okay, so you get out of training, you have your first match. When did the Scottish gimmick come up? When did you become AJ MacIntyre? How'd that happen?
That's a really, really funny story, and most people are like, no, that can't be. Okay, I had went to the Highland Games, a local Highland Games, and I had my kilt in my back. Well,
okay,
it had one back.
Explain to people. I know what it is, but explain to people what the Highland Games are.
Okay, the Highland Games is a Scottish festival in which you have pretty much everything having to do with Scotland. You have hammer tosses, you have caber tosses,
Right.
you have strongman events, you have bagpipe playing, you have Highland dancing, you have Highland backhold wrestling, you have vendors and food and everything.
Everything is about Scotland. Everything
Exactly.
there is about Scotland.
Exactly.
Okay, so go ahead and tell your story.
Okay, all right. So at the time, I was working for a guy by the name of Glenn Ingle, who's one of the few people that Ron Garvin trained to wrestle.
Okay.
And that Glenn Ingle was so tough in the ring that every match I had with him, I thought was a shoot. Every single match. Every time I wrestled him, I come home with cracked ribs. Every single time.
Ooh.
And one of the guys that Glenn had that was in his company was a guy by the name of Doug Frady.
Okay.
And Doug Frady saw me getting my at the time I didn't even have my own gear. I had borrowed an Olympic singlet from George Darby.
Okay.
And I did have a pair of boots. Thank the Lord for that. But I didn't have anything else to wear. So, and it's kind of funny. I remember exactly what I was wearing. I was wearing a blue Tarzan with long red tights. Now, tell me that don't look funny. But, and of course, I put the leg through
it
the
looks
singlet,
funny, but I bet it was entertaining.
Well, I should have been wearing black and blue because, Glen Eagle was brutal. But anyway, so I had forgotten and left my kilt in my duffel bag.
Oh, no.
And so I'm pulling the gear out of my bag, and I pull the kilt out and I lay it on the bench. And Doug Frady goes, "What's that?" And I said, "That's my kilt." He says, "Oh, you do a Piper gimmick." I said, "No." I said, "I ain't no gimmick. That's my kilt. I accidentally left it in my bag from the Highland Games." And he goes, "You ought to wear that out there." I said, "Okay." He says, "What else you got in that bag?" I said, "Well, I got my Balmoral for, the Scottish hat. It's a tam on a woman on a man. It's called a Balmoral."
Right.
And he said, "You ought to wear that out and try it out." I said, "Okay." Now, up until that point, I was wrestling under the name of AJ Darby.
Right.
After, the guy who had taught me to take no crap.
Right.
It was kind of a tribute to him. And so I go out and I say, "Okay, well, I'll try it." And that's pretty much how it was born. I walked out with the Balmoral on and the kilt on, and I had my sporran, which is the bag that we wear on the front of our kilt, and kilt belt and everything. Like I say, everything was packed for the Highland Games. The only thing I didn't have was Gilly Brogues because I didn't wear those. That's the shoes with the long tassels.
Right.
So that's how AJ MacIntyre was born. My family, my legitimate family is MacIntyre and Morrison. Right. And a lot of people don't know this. The red kilt that you'll see me wear from time to time is actually a Morrison kilt. The MacIntyre kilt, I did
see. I was at a show at ACW, and you showed me the tag and everything. It is what you say.
Yeah, and the green one that I wear during the Fan Fest meet and greets is actually the MacIntyre kilt woven by House of Edgar in Scotland, who is actually the royal weavers for the royal family.
Wow, that is awesome. So you're actually Scottish, doing a Scottish gimmick.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're actually just doing you.
I am. I mean,
how easy is that? I mean, that's got to be pretty cool too. I mean, you get to teach people about Scottish customs.
Oh yeah, and anybody who wants to know anything, I studied it. I tell people about the Peralta, who and I probably mispronounced that because my lips are sticking together.
Oh, you good?
But it's the clan motto for MacIntyre. It translates from Gaelic to "through difficulties." Well, what had happened? How they say what happened was Duncan MacIntyre, and I'm not making his name up. Duncan MacIntyre, who was on a galley with the chieftain of the MacDougall clan, he was a carpenter, and the galley sprung a leak. Now, this had to be one of my relatives. Because instead of fashioning a plug or something from the rail, this fool sticks his thumb in the hole, and it swells up, and he can't get it out. So he has to cut it off.
Oh my gosh, no.
So yeah. So one of my relatives had to be man or stupid enough to cut off his own thumb. I don't know which one it was, if it was man enough or stupid enough. But yeah, that's true.
Wow. Okay, you got a lot of that. Wow, that's a cool story, man. That is a cool story. I love that. Harry Bernard Taylor of the Straight Up Wrestling Podcast Show. Yes, he's on here. The real deal, straight up. He said you're the real deal. I love it.
Thank you.
Dara Hatley, who's been on Hashtag Truth. AJ.
Oh Lord, it's a zebra.
The zebra.
Yeah. He likes to run his mouth at me, and I remind him what lions do to zebras.
That is true. Rodney said, AJ wouldn't lie. I want to say thanks for giving me my start.
You're welcome, Rodney. Yeah, a little bit about Rodney real quick, just for those. When Rodney started, Rodney was a referee. And Rodney hated being a referee. Even though Rodney was a good referee, he hated being a referee. Nobody would see him as anything but a referee.
Oh,
and I walked up to him and I said, man, look, I said, you with me now. I say, so you'll be my manager. I'll basically tell you what to say. Just listen to me. We'll learn as we go. We'll have fun. As long as the people are ticked off, we're doing our job. And let's just go with it. And that's how it went.
Right.
He didn't have any real formal training.
Daryl said, I'll never back down from you, AJ Law. Love you, brother. Remember with those lions, due to those zebras. Just saying.
I told him one time I was going to step on his feet and twist his head and turn him into a barber pole.
That's good. I love that. That is awesome. So wow. So you had a manager for a little while. Have you ever been part of a tag team?
Yeah. In NWA Carolinas, I teamed with a guy called himself Firebird. Also called himself Adam Cole, but he's from Florida, but he's not the one you think about from Florida. He's a different guy.
Right, I know.
Me and him held the NWA Carolinas tag team titles.
Nice.
Bit of a conflict of interest. He was really the exact opposite of me. And it's kind of funny. When I first met him, I was talking to him about I said, man, you gotta tighten up what you're doing. I say, you're looking like a pussy. and
hey,
he goes,
that's the way to tell him.
And he goes, man, I don't want to hurt anybody. I said, well, they don't want to get hurt either. I said, but if you don't touch them, they're not going to know you're there. I said,
so he pulled back so bad that he was barely touching them.
The Florida guys, or at least the way he explained it to me, the Florida guys. You got to be a
little stiffer. You got, like you said, you got to let them know you're there.
These are the guys that, or at least him at the time, you had to sell the wind off of his punches, man, because the wasn't nothing else going to touch. And I don't sell air. So basically there was a toughening up period with that cat. Wow. And Freak Daddy AJ Frost, who I seen mentioned earlier, beat him half to death at Jay Eagles with European uppercut.
Now I do believe that.
And I was sitting on that. Now this is a test of a friend, man. I was standing up just decorating the apron.
Rodney said Firebird was a waste of our time.
Well, yeah, Rodney, but the thing about it was he toughened up that night. But he never tagged me in. He stayed toe to toe with AJ Frost, and AJ was beating the garbage out of him.
Wow.
To the point where he was starting to ask, is AJ shooting on me? And I said, dude, if he shot on you, you wouldn't be walking out of here asking yourself, did he shoot on you? I said, he didn't shoot on you.
Exactly.
But he didn't hold your hand neither.
Are you
Welcome
bleeding?
to wrestling.
Are you bleeding? No, then he's not shooting on you.
Oh, he had some little bit of damage to his chest, but
right.
Like I said, it was.
They probably stuck him in the corner and fired his chest up for a little while, didn't they?
Yeah.
Probably pulled the shirt up the whole 9 yards. Just if he had a shirt on.
Yeah.
Oh, my
I don't remember
goodness.
if he did or he didn't. But
Jenny wants to know, what does shooting mean?
Shooting, Jenny, if we're wrestling and I try to knock your teeth out of the side of your head, that's a real good example of a shoot. If I take you in a step over toe hold and I lock back on it and I snap your ankle, then that's a shoot. If you're going in there to purposely do something to hurt someone, then that's a shoot.
Right.
Lord, wrestling, rolling in his grave for me.
True wrestlers, I don't want to break the fourth wall, but true wrestlers know how to fight each other and make it look good and make it look real without anybody getting hurt. That's the main thing.
Well, the thing about it is, especially in the old days, you got to do this.
Now you will walk out of there in some pain. Now, I'm not saying that you're not going to walk out of there in no pain, because like you said, was about to say, probably there's a lot of people out there who will let you know that they're old school, or they're wrestling, or they're there, or when you go out to talk about this person, you're going to say that he's a wrestler. He's a worker, as they say.
Yeah. But what was I going to say? Oh, so yeah, AJ Frost lit him up. And, he afterward, he was like, man, that wasn't so bad. I said, I know. Now, see, up to that point, he told me, he says, I don't want to fight. He says, I'm a coward. And I said, brother, I said, brother, you in the wrong business.
Right.
I said, because at some point, somebody going to try you. Somebody's tried me. Somebody tried him. At some point, somebody's going to try you. So you can't you can't be weak-hearted. You can't be weak of spirit. You can't be a coward and be in professional wrestling.
That is true. That is that is very true. I mean, you can't not want to. I mean, I know you don't go in there to hurt each other, but you gotta look your part. You gotta be your part. You gotta go in there and make contact. Wrestling is a contact sport. I don't care what anybody says. It is a contact sport. You are, I don't care how, the F word gets thrown around a lot, but when you do moves, when you pick somebody up, they have to land. They have to fall. They're falling on wood. It's not, they're falling on wood, steel, and a little mattress that's about this thick. So they're called bumps, but it hurts. It does hurt. The next morning, you don't feel too good.
Well, Scott, when I turn my, people will call wrestling fake, but when I turn my head to the left or right, I hear crunching in my ears because there's little bitty pieces of bone in my neck that are floating around crunching every time I turn my head.
Oh,
Sounds
wow.
like the way I can explain it is if you took a handful of salt and you just crunched it in your hand next to your ear. That's what I hear.
Right.
Because it's fake.
Yeah, that I hate that word. I call it the F word. I don't even say it because people who say that don't know anything about professional wrestling. Nothing.
Well, see, I like what some of the old timers would do. Pretty boy Larry Sharp, he's died now, but he had a little contract made up. He carried in his wallet, just a little card,
right?
And it was for a match. And when somebody would tell him, it was fake, whatever, he'd say, well, why don't you step in the ring? I got a contract right here. And they suddenly disappeared. Right. They decided that wasn't such a good idea because Larry Sharp would have beat them within an inch of their life.
Right. And that I know a lot of wrestlers that are like that. I know old schoolers today that are like that. And I don't know. I just don't know why people would say something like that. If you don't know something, you don't know something. I mean, it's crazy. And if they knew how hard that these wrestlers work to be who they are, some work very hard, some don't. I'll be honest. I mean, some just do what they have to do to get from one show to the next to get paid. I mean, there are wrestlers like that, but there are some that, like you said, they've got neck injuries, they're broken ribs, they got ankles. They're doing everything they can to go up in professional wrestling. You know what I'm saying? So I that's the guys that I back 100%. Those guys that are out there, they're at shows, they're doing promos, they're doing everything they can to get their brand out there and help the people that are hiring them to wrestle, the companies. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
And that's what, to me, that's what it's all about.
Well, do you have any questions anymore?
I've got plenty of questions. I was just waiting. We got a couple questions out here. How long? Jenny wants to know how long have you wrestled, and who is the most famous person you've wrestled?
Okay, 28 years.
Nice.
who my most famous one is?
Who is the most famous person? I'm pretty sure they're talking WWE or something like that.
I'll tell you who my favorite one to work was. Can we do that?
Okay, that's fine.
Manny Fernandez.
Manny Fernandez, really?
Manny does not get the credit he deserves. Manny is amazing. Manny trains so many guys that went on to be something. Guys you don't even know went through that Manny trained. Not just Ron Killens, Homicide, and a bunch of other guys.
Wow.
Even New Jack had some training with Manny. And like I said, a lot of guys don't know that.
Wow. That's
some of these guys, you know, they go through Manny's school, they learn the stuff, then they go up the road and they forget about Manny. I'll never forget what Manny's done for me.
Right. Without a doubt,
absolutely my favorite, and I had fun. And I've been in the ring with Bobby Eaton, and Bobby was fun too. Only thing is, I was tagging with Bobby at the time. I didn't go against him.
Oh wow, that's amazing. That's good. Wow, how'd that happen? It just happened at a show. You just showed up, and the booker said, "Hey, you're tagging with them."
It was NWA Carolinas at the Winston-Salem Annex. You had Dusty Joe Slater, who you've met.
You're right.
And Richie Steamboat going against beautiful Bobby Eaton and me. I didn't even look like me at the time. I had blonde hair and a beard.
I think I've seen pictures or something with you younger.
Yeah, I look terrible in that picture, man. I don't know what I was thinking wearing a purple and black singlet. I don't even know what I was thinking then. Right. I think it was just something in my bag. I ain't been real fashion conscious when it comes to wrestling gear. I just kind of throw something on and go.
Throw something on, go out there and fight, right?
That's pretty much it.
They're not looking at what I'm wearing. They're looking at what I'm throwing.
Well, I look at it like this. If I'm supposed to be the bad guy and they ain't supposed to like me anyway, they might as well not like what I'm wearing either.
There you go. There you go. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to do one more quick commercial. Mr. AJ MacIntyre is my 301st episode, 301. So I'm trying to get as many wrestlers as I can that haven't been on the show to come to the show. So I've got a quick commercial for #Truth. It's an old commercial, but I love it anyway. Some of the people that I've interviewed. And if you are a wrestler, promoter, anything that has to do with independent professional wrestling and you want to come on the show, just get a hold of me on Facebook and I will set you up. That's exactly how AJ did it. And here's a little short commercial.
What is the podcast that brings you the best interviews from the world of independent pro wrestling?
You are watching #Truth.
Join Scott Larson as he goes into the personal lives of some of the hottest up-and-coming wrestlers, as well as managers, referees, and promoters. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Giving you something to invest in from the world of professional wrestling.
And that's the #Truth.
There you go. We're back with AJ MacIntyre. And like I said, if you're anything that has to do with professional wrestling, get a hold of me. I'd love to have you on the show. So AJ, have you done any other gimmick other than the Scottish gimmick? Have you ever showed up or promoter said, "Hey, I need you to put this mask on and go out there," and just something like that?
Yes.
Was it fun?
It's fun until you see so many years later, you see somebody else doing that character and you're like, wait a minute, I did that before anybody thought about it. Back in the PWF, there was a couple times with Stallion where George South was kind of indisposed doing something else. And so me and Stallion took on each other and I put on a yellow assassin mask and called myself the New Age Assassin.
That's cool. I like that.
Of course, that consisted of the bell ringing and me getting my tail end whooped. But I had fun.
But you did it.
Yeah. Stout smacked me over the head with one of them big, huge stop signs. I think that might have a little do something with the crunching in my neck. But
yeah, those stop signs don't give. Not like the little pans and stuff that they use. Those will crack or bend or give.
Oh man,
them stop signs don't give. They just kind of wave. They'll smack you 2 or 3 times before you know it on one swing.
you sound like you felt one because that's exactly the truth. That's the truth.
Oh yeah.
But
I've even had a chain to the back. I've even had somebody swing a chain at me and It was a good bump though. He didn't touch me, but it looked like he killed me.
but I will say this about the Italian Stallion. He took care of me.
Right.
You know, a lot of guys get really bad raps when it comes to money, but
Right.
ultimately, money aside, you know, your body is your well-being, and if you get in the ring with somebody who doesn't care about you and ends up hurting you, that's when I take real exception to it. But Style was very careful about not hurting me, and
We
he
got
could
a
at any
lot.
point.
We got a lot of people on here wanting to talk. Rodney said, "I love that night." Talking about one of the nights you were speaking of. Arch said, "I've been in the ring with AJ MacIntyre." Yeah, I've seen that.
He felt the Scott lock.
Did he?
Yeah.
Did he cry like a baby?
Yeah. Well, I don't know about crying like a baby. He did give up, but I will give him credit. It takes a heck of a man to handle that, even for a little while.
Right. Billy Jones says, J.D. Dalton, I can speak English, really, I can. Wants to be on hashtag truth. Maybe we can get the old man back in the ring. Just tell him to hit me up, man. Ace of Spades.
That was
My
another
Ace of Spades.
that was another gimmick that I did. That mask is so old it's deteriorated by now. The face on it's like falling off.
Bruce said that is a guy you can invest in. Dylan Birch is here. Mr. D-Man Smoke. How you doing, Dylan? Welcome to hashtag truth.
Hello.
Missy's got a question. Said, what year was you with Stahl?
Oh, I don't even remember. Let me see if I can give you something from the timeline. Oh, I can't say that name. If I say that name, you'll know something. I screw it. I think they were called the Overlords. Drew and Ed Brock. I don't remember Drew's last name. Drew Offniski or something. I can't. If I mispronounce that name, I apologize. Please don't come beat me up.
I forget names and mispronounce names all the time, man.
He's a big dude, and from what I remember, is real nice. Chris Hamrick was there.
Nice.
Him and Drew was High Power was the tag team.
Okay.
That was about the time that X-Pac was in WCW to first come in.
Right.
I don't remember dates. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I don't remember.
That was in the 90s sometime, early 90s.
Yeah, like I said, I don't.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
I would say it was probably 95, 96, just guessing. I'd say probably mid-90s.
Yeah, somewhere in the 90s.
But I honestly don't know. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not one of these guys that kept a diary. I don't remember a lot.
Right. Oh, hey, somebody who wrestles a lot, 28 years, it's hard to remember everything. Jack Pasta, we like to call him Jack Frost, says, "What's up, guys?" Thank you, Jack, for showing up.
Hello. Thanks for watching.
Brew said, "We will see you on Sunday, AJ."
Yeah, you will.
We're going to get to that in a few minutes. I'm going to ask him about his social media and where he's going to be in the future. That's coming up in just a couple of minutes. So, guys, stick around for that. They definitely would, said Missy. AJ, tell them about the CWC. What is the CWC?
CWC is a merry band of misfits that was ran by men in the NWA Carolinas. It stood for the Carolinas Wrecking Crew.
Okay.
We had pretty much all aspects. You had me, who was kind of a diabolical kind of guy, which is really the way my mind is.
Right.
You had Rodney, who was Sir Roderick Royal. I did that as a tribute to Nelson.
Okay.
You had a guy named Jason, who was a competitive power lifter. We called him Tank.
Okay.
You had a guy who has kind of been erased from wrestling because of him doing a really bad thing, but I'll say at the time he hadn't. His name was Hot Boy Jason Morton. He was kind of like our little pit bull on a chain. When I wanted somebody to take care of it, I should have snapped him.
Sick him.
Pretty much. And then we had Firebird, which I don't know what Firebird was. Firebird was just Firebird. He was Florida style, and he was like we did a this thing. I would come up with little things to try to make it interesting and get people to think when we would do a promo.
Right.
Like there's a promo out there where I was talking and I say, it's the thing, the one thing about dirty deeds that nobody thinks about, dirty deeds
Right.
with us are dumb dirt cheap. And about that time, I
Right.
said dumb dirt cheap. And about that time I swung a chair. And, people said, "Oh, he did the, dirty deeds," and this was before anybody had heard of John Moxley or any of that.
Right.
No disrespect to him. I made a comment one time about I was hell built for leather. We did all this stuff, and we were, being the strap, the leather
Right.
strap, the belt. I was hell built for
Right.
leather.
Right.
But what got us with Firebird was we told him, we said, don't rip anybody off. There's enough rip-offs in the business. Don't go there. Don't go up there and say we snack on danger, dine on death, or none of that stuff. Don't
take anybody else's gimmick. Don't take
their catchphrase. They don't do it.
Yeah.
And he goes up there and some fool gave that guy the microphone, and he goes, we're like dogs chasing cars. We don't know why we do it. We just do things. And someone goes, Batman, rip off. I mean, it was just as pretty as you please.
You don't want to do that. You got to be yourself. You got to have something of your own, man. I mean, it's got to be yours. That's how you get remembered. You don't get remembered for ripping somebody else off. I mean,
well, we kicked him out of the group over that.
Hey, got to do what you got to do, man. I mean, that's like everybody says, man. I've always heard that your best gimmick, if you're a person, your best gimmick is being yourself times 1,000. And I'm glad that you found the Scottish gimmick, and that's you, and you just took it in, and you did doing what you're doing with it. It's awesome, man. I mean, please go on ACW Appalachian Championship Wrestling on YouTube and check it out, because I know there's some matches with this guy in it. Go check it out. It's some great wrestling, a great show, and you'll get to see AJ do his thing, come out in his kilt and do his thing.
The thing, the thing that gets me about characters have to come from inside you. Okay, yes. I don't call it a gimmick. I don't mean to correct you.
No, you're good.
I'm gonna teach you some terminology. Okay, is that cool?
Okay, that's cool.
Okay. A gimmick is a physical thing. If I hit you in the mouth with a pair of brass knucks, that's a gimmick. Okay. If I am the Scottish Lion, AJ MacIntyre, family who comes from Glencoe, Scotland. If you're not from Scotland, you're crap. If I'm that guy, I'm a character.
Right.
So a gimmick is a physical thing. So if someone hits somebody with a handful of air, they hit them with an air gimmick. It's a gimmick.
I got you.
A lot of people, and Arch Clark Kent, Mass Menace, who was on here before, I had to teach him that, because the more we know about this business, the more we can converse with other guys who have been in it since the dawn of time.
I got you. Well, I thank you for straightening that out for me, because I've always called it a gimmick. So I've always called the whole thing a gimmick. So
it's a character.
That's cool. Character. I got you. I will do that from now on. Thank you for. No, I'm seriously. Thank you for correcting me, because I like to learn. I want to learn, and I want to say things right. So,
well, no problem.
Missy Childers has a question. She says, "Do you remember Baby Huey?"
Yes, I do. And he worked with me in IDS. Huey. You had Donnie and Byron.
Right.
Byron was a great guy, but he was a troubled guy. That one makes me tear up a little bit. I know too much about that one, but Byron was a good guy. Byron could tick anybody off. If you don't know who I'm sorry, Missy. I'm sorry. If you don't know who Missy's talking about, there was a group years ago in Stallion's group called the International Death Squad, IDS.
Right.
and it consists of the Equalizer and Baby Huey. And Byron hated the whole Baby Huey gimmick. He hated that.
Right.
But I mean, he was a big guy. My mother actually used to make gear for some of the guys, and actually made Byron a gold sequin vest that he wore a couple times.
Wow.
But yeah, Byron was a good guy. He was one of them guys. If he didn't know you, he'd be a jerk to you. But once he got to know you, you couldn't ask for a nicer guy.
I know a few
He was
people
so
in wrestling
tormented.
who are like that, and it's cool, man. It's cool. Once you get through and they understand that you're there, you're not gonna shy away, because that's a lot of people do that on purpose, just to, okay, if you're gonna bug me, but if you really want to know me, you'll come back, no matter how bad I'm a jerk. And if you come back and you start talking, then they realize, okay, this guy really wants to, I had to do that to a lot of wrestlers to get them on the show. I'm not gonna lie to you, man.
Really?
Had to really keep going. Hey, I really want you on the show. Oh no, get out of here, kid! You're bothering me, sort of thing. And you just keep going. Eventually, you get them on.
People should be happy to be acknowledged. I wouldn't, and that's why I kept. I said, I told you point blank, Mr. Larson. I said, when I get on here, I'm going to be real with you. I'm not going to be my character.
Right.
I'm going to be me.
Well, that's awesome. Arch said, I will say one of the few people I respect in the business is AJ MacIntyre. There you go.
Thank you.
Eugene Thompson says, what's up, Scott? What's going on, Eugene? Welcome to the show. I know you've been here before. Firebird was an ass clown, said Rodney. Eugene,
I can't argue with facts.
Right? Jack Frost is scared to step up to me. Well, I'll let you two handle that one. Rodney said, love Baby Huey.
I miss him.
While you was telling the story, said, stop where you are. Yes, one of the best. Those were the good days, she said. By the way, Missy Childers, who's right here, she's the one that got me my #Truth shirt. I want to thank her and her family. This is the #Truth shirt that is being sold on kingenterprises.store. If you go there and you buy it, it helps me with my brain surgery. All the money comes to me. And I want to thank everybody who has already bought a shirt. And Missy got me one so I could show it off, her and her family. And I want to thank them tremendously. Thank you guys very much for being a fan of #Truth. And tonight they're watching AJ MacIntyre. So AJ, we're at the point of the show where you tell people where a promoter, if they want to find you on Facebook or get a hold of you. And also, you could tell the people and the fans where you're going to be soon.
This Sunday, I'll be in Vail at Extreme Fitness. I can't remember the address.
It's on Highway 10.
Yeah, it's like 88, 81 Highway 10, Vail, North Carolina.
West. Somebody help us out there. I know somebody out there from ACW is still watching. Give us the address out there to ACW. We'll get it soon. I know we will.
If not, you can do a search for Extreme Fitness and Tanning in Vail, North Carolina, and it'll give you the address. I have a Facebook page, and of course, it's AJ MacIntyre. Right now, it's got a picture of my dog on it, so it'd be real easy to find me. We've got trying to think I think is the 20th. I think is the next big show. I think it's the 20th of this month.
It is, because I will be there for that one.
Okay. Venom likes to run his mouth. He likes to make all kinds of comments about he's going to keep a belt forever. The one thing that Venom doesn't have in common with me is I haven't been beaten by anybody in ACW.
So you're undefeated at ACW.
That is correct.
That is awesome.
Thanks to a little hole called a Scott Lock. Like I said, thanks to that Scott Lock.
Wow, I'm gonna
go ahead and lift the veil back for a minute. I'm gonna tell you how the Scott Lock originated.
Okay.
A friend of mine, Beastmaster Rick Link, Mad Mountain Link, who I've also been in a ring with and have a tremendous amount of respect for, posted a video to YouTube that was wrestling from Auckland, New Zealand.
Okay.
and I'm watching I think it's called Beyond. It wasn't Beyond the Mat. That's something else. Anyway, it was wrestling from Auckland, New Zealand. It was the TV show they had over there, and they had
Okay.
Mad Mountain Link on it. And right after his match, they did this thing where they went like a retrospect of a wrestler past
Right.
and
Right.
what they have contributed to the business. And
Okay.
there was this guy called Lofty Blumfield,
Okay.
who was the NWA New Zealand heavyweight champion for a lot of years. And there's pictures of this guy where he's actually holding up an elephant's foot. I mean, he was strong, but he didn't look that strong, but he was strong. But he created a hold called the octopus clamp, in which there was no escape for. This move has not been seen since the early 80s. And I watched footage of him putting it on and putting it on and putting it on to the point where I understand the mechanics of it. And it's his move, it's his hold, but I renamed it the Scott Lock.
Nice. See, I like that. See, that's bringing back That's bringing back, the pureness of wrestling. A hold. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not many people, and I'm not saying this in a bad way or a negative way in any way, but not many people go that deep into, they learn the hold. Okay, I got the hold. They don't know where it comes from. And you got the history of the hold and the whole thing and where you got. See, I love that. I love when people do that. That is so cool. Thank you for telling us that story, man. I love that.
Well, I mean, everybody who started out and everybody who loves wrestling, everybody who's in wrestling, I'll say the majority of there are those that weren't wrestling fans, but
Right.
the really good wrestlers, the really good guys, the really good entertainers. You say wrestlers, say sports entertainers, say whatever you want to. They
Right.
all started out as fans. They all
They did.
sat here pouring over the TV. Back when they had wrestling magazines, I'd sit there and bury my head in Pro Wrestling Illustrated and Vice Sports Wrestling and
Right.
Sports Review and Pro Wrestling Training and all those different magazines.
That's right.
And because you can only see so much on TV, and I wanted to learn about other people and other things and see other things. And I just fell in love with wrestling through all that. Some
Right.
kids had comic books and I had Pro Wrestling Illustrated.
And you were just as happy. And you had just as many characters as they did in the comic books.
Uh-huh. And I could go visit mine.
That's it. That's it. As long as you could pay for a ticket, you could go see yours every week, probably.
Exactly.
and that's what was that cool back in the day when you were a kid and you buy the magazines and people saw, like you said, kids had comic books. They're walking up talking to you about Superman and Spider-Man, and you're turning to them and going, "Hey man, the Hulk is the Hulkster's taking on Macho Man Randy Savage this Saturday." What? It had to be cool.
I was a big Boogie Woogie Man Jimmy Vant
There you
guy,
go.
because every time I ever met him, even as a fan, he was like he knew you forever. And Jimmy's one of those guys. Once he learns your name, I don't think he'll ever forget it.
Yeah, I don't know how people do that. I forget names all the time, man. If I don't write things down, like doing my show, if I don't write it down and get their name, dude, I'll forget. I am horrible at names. Some people can pull out names. They can see somebody they ain't seen in 20 years and go, "Oh yeah, that's."
The only thing that bothers me with name is when people misspell my character's last name. If they do MC, because
I did that. I was guilty. I did it on the flyer, and you said hey, it's okay. You can do it if you want, but my name's MAC, and I was like, oh crap, I got to change that.
Well, you want to know a secret? Because we're here about telling the truth.
Okay.
That hashtag truth. It's really MC, but I do it MAC so they don't start comparing me to Drew McIntyre, because he does MC.
That was going to be my last question. How many times have people walked up and said, "Man, you're just a Drew McIntyre wannabe"? How many times have you heard that?
Man, Drew Galloway was still latched to his mom when I was in this business. Come on.
Right? Right? So I can understand that. I can understand that. Frank Roof said, hey, Scott Larson. How you doing, Frank? Welcome to Hashtag Truth. Jenny said, I used to go to PWF when I was younger. I may have seen you, AJ, but I can't remember. I remember IDS and Scotty McKeever.
Oh, yeah. Well, I didn't wrestle as AJ MacIntyre then.
Right. That was when you were still coming out in your purple and all that other good stuff, right?
AJ Darby, man.
There you go. The leader of the Brotherhood said 8818 West North Carolina Highway 10.
Thank you, Big Daddy C.
This is the place to see the top of the food chain, the Brotherhood. There you go. So how did you become part of the Brotherhood? That's a good question.
All right, we're doing a shoot. I created it.
You can do it any way you want to do it.
I created it.
You created
the Brotherhood.
Nice. Tell me, without giving away a bunch of secrets and what's going to happen, how'd that come about?
All right. Natural born player. I've known him for years and years and years. And he's one of those guys who I know as a tag partner, I'm covered. Some of the other guys I didn't know. But I was thinking about, how everyone always refers to the wrestling business and everybody in it as brothers. And, they say, we're a brotherhood.
We're a brotherhood. Exactly.
Even though, my character is a bad guy, we're still a brotherhood. And guys who have been in the groups are still my brother. Jamie Knight, who's went on to do other things. He's still my brother.
Right.
It's just it's just a whole brotherhood of the ring. I mean, I know it's kind of corny, but that's kind of how I see it. I'm doing a lot of ums.
No, you're good. You're good, man. I mean, there's.
You're
telling the story, man. I'm loving it. I love all this. This is so cool.
I take the business really seriously, and Q-Ball Carmichael one time was talking about, that there was no brotherhood left in wrestling. That there was a time where if a brother was in trouble, all the other brothers stepped up and helped. And it just like what you were talking about.
I said it at one time because it's just that feeling,
a guy got his house robbed, and you got guys worrying about everything except their brother. They're worried about that's not a brotherhood, man.
Yeah.
I can tell you right now, my brothers have got my back,
right,
and I got theirs.
Well, I'll tell you.
The guys in our group will step in front of the truck.
Man. I'll tell you what I call brotherhood. I'm going in a little over a month to have brain surgery. Okay.
Yeah.
And 2 organizations have come together, and a lot of people. One of them is Missy, who was asking questions before. She was huge with this. It's going to cost me a lot of money to do this, and my insurance ain't covering but like 1/3 of it.
Oh, okay? Lord.
So that I've had a benefit show. I've had people doing fundraisers. I've had, all kinds of stuff. And I thank every one of them. And I've gotten almost $2,500 from people to go toward my my surgery. And I thank everybody. I've cried so many times. I showed up at a show and people just do things to help out, and that's cool, man. I love that. And I'm not even a wrestler.
Right.
I do a podcast to get people out there, and to have people thank me, is just amazing. I love doing my job. To me, this isn't a job. I love talking to guys like you and things like that, getting this show set up and putting out the advertisement. It's a love for me. It's not even work to me, But I've had a lot of people thank me, and doing that, I want to thank everybody. And to me, that's a brotherhood. When you got somebody who in the wrestling business, whatever they're doing, and that's why I say that whatever you're doing in professional wrestling, whether you're a photographer, whatever. If you want to come on my show and tell your story, I'm more happy to put you on, man.
You want to hear an example of the brotherhood I'm talking about?
Let me hear
All right.
it.
Jimmy Millen, who is in the office at ACW,
Yes.
started a GoFundMe for Miley. There's currently $275 in it so that I can get her to a vet that Friday. And
now that I know that, I'm going to post it on my page. I'm going to go find it.
Okay. But that's a brotherhood, man.
Yeah.
You know, when Big Daddy C cat ran out on him with the trick-or-treaters, you know, I called and talked to him and told him how cats were. I said, you know, your cat will likely come back. And she did. Her name's Stormy. That's
Right.
That's how much it means to me. I learned his cat's name.
I remember seeing that on Facebook, and that was amazing. That was a good story.
When guys are down, you know, I tell anybody, I say, you know, message me. I say, I got 2 ears and 1 mouth. That means I can listen twice as much as I talk.
Right.
You know, if you want to talk, we talk. You want me to listen, I'll listen. You want my opinion, ask for it. You know, just remember, if you ask me for my opinion, I give it to you. You don't like it, you did ask for it.
Right. And that's what a lot of people, that's where today it's kind of hard for everybody to do that, because everybody is so opinionated nowadays, and they don't want to hear anything but their opinion. You know, if you don't have their opinion, then, and I don't understand that. I've heard of people, you know, if you don't like my politics, if you don't like the person that I like in politics, you're not my friend anymore. Or if you don't like this and that, I'm not your friend anymore. Really?
Well, that shows a level of childishness. Like, because you brought up politics, I'll go ahead and say this: me and the natural born player Tron are best friends. Okay, we could not be more opposite about politics. We absolutely could not be. I am pro Trump. He is. I hate Trump stinking guts.
Right. Right.
And you know what? We don't have to agree.
That's it. That's it.
I can see his point on things. He can see my point on things.
I've got a son-in-law who is totally anti-Trump, and I am totally Trump. And we discussed politics one time, and now in order to get along, and for my daughter and all that, we don't discuss politics anymore.
Well, here's the take on it. Okay, all right. I vote for Trump because I think Trump's a better choice. They don't vote for Trump because they think somebody else is a better choice. Nobody is purposely going out there and voting for the person they think is going to screw America.
Right.
So I just I always keep that in mind when I'm talking to them. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Just
Billy Jones said all of the hashtags are great, even when cats take out Scott. Oh, thank you, Billy. That's great. Bring back the most embarrassing moment of my life on hashtag truth that happened 2 shows ago. Thank you. If you don't know what he's talking about, AJ, my green screen was up and I left my 2 cats in here. I have 2 cats.
Is that where you fell back?
Yes, my big cat took down the green screen while I was talking to Jake Jacobs. And he was answering a question. I said, I'll be right back. I'm going to go, because the cat was still clawing on the green screen. So I said, I'm going to go back and get it. And as I turned, one of the cords from my headset was right here. The cat came running out as I was going, and I started to trip with the cord. The cat hit my knee and took me totally out. And I went head first right into. Thank God I've got a mattress back here.
Remind me, I
took a header right to the ground, but I popped right back up.
Remind me, I gotta pay that cat with that can of sardines like we agreed on.
Oh, okay, I got you. Go back on my page. I clipped it out,
man,
and did the sound effect of a car crash. it's good. You have to go back on my page and check it out. It's funny. Yeah. Thank you, Billy, for bringing up my most embarrassing moment ever.
Yeah, that cat was a fan of the heels, man.
Oh yeah, he was. Oh yeah, he is. Without that. Arch said when you were talking about the magazines, I love those old wrestling magazines. I wish they would bring them back. I wish they would. I really do. They could do an AEW and WWE magazine, and that would. I love when 2 companies, like when WCW and WWE were going. That was fun. To me, that was fun back in the day. I didn't like that everybody, was in NWO. But other than that, it was fun back then,
Well, see, what I liked, and my favorite one was Pro Wrestling Illustrated,
Yeah.
because Bill Apter, man, that man's a genius. Bill would have, if it was wrestling related, it didn't matter if it was Chris Hero, out west somewhere wrestling in some ICW promotion that nobody here's ever heard of.
Right.
It had something to do with wrestling.
Right.
It was in there. I'm sorry, I'm trying to frame
I'm
myself.
not laughing at you, sir. I'm laughing at Billy. Billy said the cat should watch a match with Weston.
Oh Lord.
You know who Weston is? Yeah, you know who
Yeah.
Weston is. Okay. Yeah, my cat would get along perfectly with Weston, no doubt.
I like Weston. I don't like drama.
Right.
And it's TND with him, total nonstop drama.
Right.
It's always, and you would.
Oh no! Wait a minute! Before you go forward, we're not talking about Preston. We're talking about Weston, the little turtle, the little turtle that.
But I know what the turtle represents, man.
But the turtle represents Preston. Yes, it does. I'm going to be honest and say the real name. His name is Preston Schranz, and yes, it does represent him. Outlaw has a show called #Butthurt, and he did a bunch of shows where Weston was supposed to be Preston and blah blah blah, and it was funny. You got to have thick skin in wrestling, man. People are going to rib you. What do you think about that? What do you think about getting ribbed in wrestling?
It comes with the territory. I remember the old days of being padlocked. Oh Lord.
Padlocked?
Yeah, you don't know about padlock rib?
No, please tell me.
Everybody comes in with their bag in a duffel bag, and somebody comes in with a bunch of padlocks. And in the old armory buildings in the back, you had those big long 8-foot tables,
right?
And they had those little rails that hang down underneath the table. What they do is they take your handles and tie them in a knot and run a padlock through them and padlock them underneath the table. You want to get your stuff out of your bag, you had to get on the floor upside down and flip your bag over and unzip it.
I bet there was a lot of cussing in those rooms.
Oh man!
I bet there was a lot of cussing in those locker rooms.
I have seen it all, man. I went to a show. I've
heard of people putting mustard in bags. I've heard of people putting itch powder in some people's, wrestling gear. I've heard all kinds of things, man.
Oh, the worst one though was Fuji. I know about Fuji's ribs. Fuji put roadkill in somebody's bag one time and zipped it up and waited on them to find it.
Wow.
You do your research about who that was.
I will. Jamie Buss has a question for you. AJ MacIntyre, who is your top 3 matches you want to happen at ACW?
Honestly, Jamie, at some point I do want to get in the ring with you.
Okay. There you go. I'll leave the question up there.
The Gunner kid, I want an opportunity to work with him. Gunner Rose, is that his name?
Okay, I think so.
I want an opportunity to work with him. Venom, we're gonna see what happens with you, man. I
want to be there for you and Venom. That's gonna be a great. If there's no outside interference, which I'm pretty sure there will be, I want to see you two go at it.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what Big Daddy C said, and this is truth. Okay, because I started the Brotherhood. If I tell the Brotherhood to go to the back, they go to the back. Okay. And it ain't beyond me to tell the guys go to the back. I got this.
Right.
It ain't.
Well, if that happens, that's gonna be a great match.
Look. I might be the bad guy, but I don't have to cheat to win. Guys have seen that over and over. They'd be like, "Well, why'd you cheat?" I'm like, "Well, I was supposed to. I don't have to cheat to win."
Right. That's just what happened at the time, right? Just what came to mind.
Well, my manager's stepping outside. He's got to do something. I mean, We when I first came into ACW, I went to the Wow Factory.
Wow Factory
Like,
Party Pavilion. Yeah, that was
yeah,
hard to
yeah, that
pronounce.
that thing. Okay, and I took on a guy by the name of
We call
Crazy
it.
Joe.
We officially call it the COVID Dome. So you can call it the COVID Dome.
Okay, all right. Well, yeah, I'll let you call it. You know where I was at. All right.
Yeah.
So this was my debut in ACW.
Okay.
I go in and I'm taking on a cat by the name of Crazy J, who I gave like his first match in the business.
Okay.
And to make a long story short, he left on an ambulance in a EMS. EMS carted him off to the hospital. He had had enough. He got to the back and collapsed. I didn't try to hurt him. He'd had too much.
Wow.
But the thing about that was those guys were talking about that. They said, "Did you hear that?" And that one guy said, "I could hear those chops all the way down in Kazar." Because I went in there and I told him before, I said, when you get in the ring with me, you better be ready. And before the match even happened, I said, I might like to have a manager. I said, Chris Mellon, you doing anything? He says, oh man, I'd be honored to be your manager. And he went out to the ring and he watched me just dismantle Crazy J.
Right.
There wasn't one bit of cheating in the match.
Wow.
I didn't cheat not one time.
Wow.
And Chris was over. He's like, next time, can I do something besides sit there and watch? I said, oh man, I'm sorry, I forgot you were there. I mean, I wasn't being a smart aleck about it. I got in the zone.
Missy, I love this. Her husband, Chris Thunder Anderson, threw Crazy J in a mud puddle at the fair show. Yes, I love hearing stuff like that. That is so cool. Oh my God. You beat the snot out of him and he got thrown in a mud puddle by Chris Thunder Anderson. That's when you know it's time to just hang it up, bro. it's time to go home.
He's got a lot of heart though. I mean,
yeah.
He's got a lot of heart and he's overcome a lot.
Well, if he keeps overcoming that, he's going to be a really strong wrestler. I'm just teasing when I say get out, but that is
I know.
If he's going through a lot of as they say, paying his dues. He's going through a lot.
He's been paying them for a long time.
Yes, it sounds like it. It sounds like
yeah.
I don't know him personally, but it sounds like he's going through a lot, and that's what it takes though to be a good wrestler.
Well, you look. Here's the thing: when you and I know this is like a cliche at this point because it's been said so much, but when you stop learning, when you feel like you've learned everything you're going to learn, take your boots, put them on eBay, put them in a bag, forget about them, burn your gear, whatever. You don't belong in the wrestling business when you've decided you've learned everything.
Yeah, it's the same thing with almost everything. I'm a podcaster, and every day I learn something. Every day, ooh, I can do this. Ooh, I can do that. Ooh, computers are a wonder. There's a lot of things you can do on here. But yeah, I always hear that, and a lot of the 20-year vets and people who have lasted long enough, like you, 28 years, they know every time they get out there, they can learn something. It could be from a kid who just got out of training.
Exactly.
The kid could do something and you're like, ooh, he could mess up a move and it looks good to you. And you're like, ooh, I can make a move out of that.
Well, if people also, and I completely agree with that. And not only that, you can watch guys and learn not what to do.
Yes.
You can learn by saying, well, he did that wrong. That looked hokey. I don't want to do that when I get in the ring. The crowd didn't, doing 100 different spots in the back, and you've got a heel crowd that wants to see the ground and pound blood sport of wrestling. If that's what your audience wants and you don't deliver it to them, then.
And some wrestlers haven't figured that out yet. I'm just going to be honest. Some wrestlers haven't figured out. Every place is different, and you got to, if you're if you're the first guy out, if you're in the first match and you've never been there before, it's not a bad thing to walk over to another wrestler who's been at that place many times and say, hey, what's the crowd like? What is the crowd like?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? What is this crowd into? Do they like the top rope stuff? Do they like, people flying over the ropes, or do they like, ground and pound? And you can find out by just asking.
Well, I worked a show in Mount Holly one time as a heel. I didn't realize that Mount Holly was a heel town. I go out there telling everybody to shut up and quit cheering me. And the more I tell them to shut up, the more they start cheering.
The show that I frequent a lot is HWA. Everybody knows I'm Heritage Wrestling Alliance. I'm their fan club president. They actually have a bad guy section and a good guy section. Where I sit is the good guy section. We cheer for the good guys, no matter who they are. And there's a bad guy section over in the corner, and they cheer for the bad guys every time they come out. And we even go back and forth with chants. It's fun times. It's fun times when you got stuff like that.
I want to see that. That's kind of like the medieval times of wrestling. You got your own cheering section.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
cool.
I lost
like
a
that.
bet. I have to tell you, if Missy's still watching, I lost a bet to her son, and I was supposed to wear her Chris Thunder Anderson shirt at the last show, but I didn't get a chance to do it. So this Saturday, I'm going to HWA. I'm wearing Chris Thunder Anderson's shirt, and I'm going to sit in the bad guy section because I lost that bet, and I'm going to cheer for the bad guys for the first time and the only time ever. I'm going to be in the bad guy section.
Hey, welcome to the dark side.
There you go. There you go. Just one time, though. Just one time. It's only going to happen once. But yeah, I'm gonna honor my bet.
You say that, but to quote Spaceballs, being good is dumb.
I like that. But no, I'm a good guy. I cheer for the good guys. I'm in the section where we cheer for the good guys. I like it. It's fun, without a doubt. Missy Childers wants to know, who are you currently training?
I don't train guys. I'll when I say that don't mean like I won't go on a show, and if I see somebody who needs help with something, that I won't just jump in and try to help them. Right. But as far as me taking somebody and saying I'm going to train you from beginning to end, I don't do that. I don't feel comfortable doing it.
I got you. Nancy says, hashtag hi, Scott Larson. How you doing, Nancy? Welcome to hashtag Truth. I hope you're enjoying it. We've been here for an hour and a half talking with AJ MacIntyre. I usually run an hour, but AJ's got some really great stories.
I'm sorry.
We've been here an hour and a half, and I'm loving it. Unless you want to close it up, man. I want to keep going.
I'll go as long as you want to go.
Oh, that's great. Chris said, gotta love that heel life. I did heel. As a matter of fact, HWA did a benefit show. Well, it wasn't HWA. HWA sponsored a benefit show for Rhonda Ruff and her family, and I got to bring out my tag team Out of Darkness, and we were heels that night. And I got to flip the hat around, and I got to put my shades on, and I got to be, the guy that I am when I do my EFED stuff called The Brain. And he's a heel, and I went out there and I just did my thing, and it was fun. But the crowd didn't know how to react because everybody out there knows I'm in the good guy section, and I cheer for the. So when I came out as a heel manager and I was talking, nobody knew how to react to me. It was the weirdest thing, but I had fun.
Well, and this ain't no arrogance. If you want help being a better heel manager in the future, I can give you some pointers.
I'll take pointers from anybody, man. I am not that way. I know I don't know that much. I've never been a wrestler. I've seen some being trained. I can watch. I'm a big guy and I've got a lot of health problems, so I can't do a whole lot of movement. But anybody who can talk me into some psychology with the bad guys and what to say, I'm all ears, man. I'm all ears.
Well, it's like Nelly used to tell me, it's not what you say, it's what you do. And I remember one time I was working a show and I put a guy in a rear chin lock in the middle of the ring, and the fan was yelling at the referee that I was choking him. And when the minute the referee turned his back, I wasn't choking the guy before, but I turned around when the referee got distracted. I started choking the guy, and I turned around and looked at the guy who had been ribbing me, and I stuck my tongue out at him. He got so freaking.
That's great.
He got so mad. I mean,
what did he? Is that one of the guys that went out into the parking lot and was waiting on you?
I've had a few of those, but they usually change their mind. Anybody who knows me, anybody who knows me will tell you that I am
What is your
legit.
size? What is your size? Legitimately, what is your size?
What weight wise?
Weight and height. Weight and height.
I'm 5'11", and I am 270 pounds.
5'11", 270 pounds. And I can tell you from seeing him, he is not like this. He's not flab. He is built. So if the guy's going to talk junk, he better be bigger than him. And I can imagine this guy probably wasn't bigger than you.
I don't care if he's big. And I'll tell you a funny story about a guy who was going to cut me one time. I was at a show. I don't know where I was at. It was some fair show. Okay. And I had ticked this guy off, and I just stepped over the line with him, and he was going to cut me. So he reached into his pocket, and he pulls out his pocket knife, and he's got one of them hawk-billed knives, got the crooked blade on it. And he's going to pull it out. He's going to cut me, right? And this is at the show. And when he was pulling his knife out, I said, I ain't got time for you. And I just turned around and walked away. Wasn't nothing he could do.
Yeah. What can you do after that?
Nothing.
Chris, Big Daddy C, I'm going to say it right. Big Daddy C said, Corny used 3 trigger words to get the crowd going. Toothless, redneck, Hicks. They always work.
You forgot inbred.
Inbred, yeah. Inbred's too, yeah. I invented a word in the COVID dome. I started calling everybody hickabillies.
Hickabilly.
Yeah, half hick, half hillbilly.
Yeah. That's funny. No wonder you didn't make it as a heel.
See, I'm telling you, I need help. I need help, man. I need help.
Listen here, you fat, toothless pig farmer. If I want your opinion, I'll give it to you.
There you go. See, well, thank God with my tag team where we are at, the places that we are at, we're face, so I don't have to worry about that. We're babies.
Yeah, unless Craven decides to join the dark side.
Well, I'm working on that. Don't go be throwing any hints now. We don't want to have a fight on here because Craven's my guy. Now we got to have Craven.
Craven's my guy too.
More. So you're messing with my livelihood now, sir.
Oh, what? Here's a question for you. What if I threw a complete swerve at you and you thought I was going to take Craven and I actually took Aftershock instead?
I'd be even madder because Aftershock's my boy. Aftershock is my boy.
Wow, if the brother decides they want them, you just can't win, can you?
Oh boy, you talk about. I'll find somebody. You that ain't gonna happen anyway. I'll
go get you that crazy J guy. You can have him.
Oh Lord, here we go.
I'm just kidding.
That's the heel in you. I love that.
It's heel life, man. Heel life.
Chris said sounds like a medical condition. So am I. I'm working on Craven too. He's trying to get Craven in there. Missy said Aftershock will take you. I love Missy. See there? Aftershock will take you down, man.
Take me?
Yes.
He's the same guy who submitted to a reverse Scott lock.
That's all right. So he's seen it now. So now he knows what to not do.
Yeah, get in the ring with me.
Okay, I got you. Very good. Very good comeback. Hashtag both them my boys. Thank you, Nancy. Thank you very much. Nancy knows where it's at. Wow. We're coming back. We're going to get those tag team titles back. We're working on it.
Really?
Oh, yeah, we're working on it.
Yeah.
Oh, look at here. Speaking of managing, look at here. Luke Childers, Aftershock will take you down. My boy Luke. Right there. That's what I'm talking about.
Hey, y'all believe whatever you want to. Click your heels together 3 times when you say it, too. Maybe it'll happen.
Oh, boy. Luke, tell him he don't know who he's talking to, man. You don't know who he's talking to.
That's exactly what I'm talking to.
Got to love when you don't care what people think of you. Yes, that is true. That is very true. And I don't. Trust me, I don't. If I did, I would have quit the other day when I fell and half the people that watched laughed and made fun of me. That was a great time. To me, it was funny. I don't embarrass easy, so.
Well, Scott, you want to know why I just step through the ropes now and I don't jump over the top anymore?
Why is that?
Because when I was younger, my foot got caught one time coming over and I ate the mat. coming into the ring. Everybody laughed. It was real funny, and I never did it again.
Well, everybody knows what happened to me at the COVID Dome. I was this guy right here. I love him to death, Luke. I was his manager. I came out. We were in a great feud. We were in a great story, and I went in and I did my right after the match was over. I grabbed the mic and I did a little promo on the guy that we swerved in the ring.
Yeah.
And I was supposed to just walk out, and instead of going through the top and the middle rope, which I should have done, I tried to go through the middle and the bottom. My foot got
you went out the women's entrance.
It twisted my foot. I went down, and there was a step right there as you go out. You know, at the COVID Dome, the ring is right there. You know,
Right.
The ring was a low boy, so you could just step out of it.
Right.
And my foot got caught. It got twisted, and my foot slammed down like this as I was coming out. And they've got it on video. I've got it on video. Even the announcer goes, "Oh my God, Scott Larson's down, man, down." I was laughing. And to me, it was funny, but I broke my toe.
Oh, man.
And my wife was like, "You are not going back in the ring ever again." And I'm like, "No, you can't tell me that. Not after that. I got to do something after that embarrassing moment. I've got to have a reprieve." And I don't care if my guy wins or loses. I got to go out and show that I can do this without falling out of a ring.
Well,
I'm still doing it.
I worked a battle royal for Stallion in Rockingham, North Carolina one night, and it was at a baseball field. And this cat, last name Chavis, and it wasn't Chris, but this guy goes out there and he's built like Miro. I'm not kidding. The guy had a build to him, and had on the little low boy shooter boots. So I thought, turned out they were Vietnam jungle boots, which he had no business in the ring with. Well, as he was stepping between the ropes, he twisted his ankle, rolled back out, and had to go to the back.
Didn't even make it to the ring. Didn't even make it to the ring.
Didn't even make it to the ring.
Wow. That's sad. I'm sorry, but to me, that's sad. That's sad.
Well,
I feel for the guy.
I feel for him, except I'm not really sure he was telling the truth when he acted like he twisted his ankle.
Oh, because so it was one of those. He just wanted to get out. He wanted to way out.
Right.
Oh man, see, that's not good. I don't like that. That's cowardice. To me, that's coward. If he did that, if he twisted his ankle for real, getting in the ring, okay, that's a sad story. But if he did it on purpose just to not wrestle the guy in the ring or just to get out, that's horrible. That's horrible.
That's what I honestly believe it was, because he was in the back talking all kinds of noise, how he was going to do this, he was going to do that. Well, you know, George Darby was there with me too, and that guy was talking about how rough and tough he was and how hard he chopped and all this, and he chopped my friend George, and George looked at him. It was kind of a Minoru Suzuki moment. He's like, and George was like, "My turn," and he hit that guy so hard that guy wailed up in tears. I think he was afraid to get in the ring.
Oh, okay, I got you. I can understand that. That makes a lot of sense.
Are
still,
guys,
you gotta get in there and learn, though. You still gotta get in there.
There are guys in this business that if you disrespect them, you get in the ring with them, they can hit you hard enough to detach your pectoral muscle.
Oh, they'll give you what's
called a receipt.
They'll give you a receipt. If you're owed a receipt, they'll give it to you.
Oh yeah.
And I know the wrestlers out there know what I'm talking about. Missy said, "You sure are talking a lot of junk for a little man who Aftershock is going to bury." Wow.
The only reason he hadn't went in our body bag yet is he won't fit.
AJ would love to wrestle you again at some point down the road.
You got it.
Andy Chavis, he is a veteran.
That's not the one. That's not Andy. No, I'm not talking about him.
Okay. Wrong Andy.
No. I don't want to say this guy's name because he's really an unknown.
Okay. Oh, here's somebody. Jamie Hart said, "I'm coming for you, AJ. I know you're really scared there. That scared you a lot. You're shaking, aren't you?"
Oh, yeah.
Go, Jamie, you gotta come stronger than that, buddy. You gotta come stronger than that.
Jamie, anytime, any day, man.
I love that. So let's look to the future. Let's say, and I'm just saying because I don't know what's going to happen. Let's say you take the heavyweight title
Uh-huh.
from Venom. Let's play a little game. You take the heavyweight title from Venom. Who do you think will be, other than Venom, of course, who will be mad and want a rematch? Who would be the next guy you think that will step up for that belt?
Well, you want to shoot? You want to know who's going to deserve a shot at the title?
I want to know who's the next guy. Who should be the next guy?
And he's tough as nails. That's Will Bradshaw.
Okay. Bradshaw. I like that.
I don't back down, man. If they were looking
So
for somebody to jump
you're
somebody's
calling
pocket,
out the biggest baby in the yard, man.
it's a respect thing.
Yeah.
Heel or not, man, it's a respect thing. I have nothing but respect for the man.
Jamie said he's going to kick your teeth in.
Okay.
Who do you contact about bookings for your company? I know a guy. That's what Missy said.
I don't get that one.
She said, who do you contact about bookings for your company? I can tell you, but I don't know if he wants me to say it on air or not.
Y'all private each other. I don't know.
Yeah. I'll tell you in private message because I'm pretty sure if he wanted everybody to know, he would have said it. So we'll just leave it at that. Don't mean to be rude at all. I'm really not trying to be rude at all. But unless a promoter tells me, "Hey, put my name out there," I'm not going to do that.
well, that's like me. People are like, "Well, how do I book AJ McIntyre?" I'm like, "Well, you really don't. If you want to book me and I want to show up, then I'll tell you that I'm interested in showing up. But if I'm not interested in showing up, I'm not going to. I've got to that age where I don't take every booking. I just don't.
Yeah, without a doubt. Ben Wolf said, "Hello, Mr. McIntyre."
Hello, Ben. That's a tough kid too.
Oh yeah. He's a very good.
That was the ref, wasn't it? That was the dad, wasn't it?
Very good referee. Yes, that's the dad. Yeah, very good referee.
Oh, I'm gonna give him a shout out. We had a little bit of blood sport on the last show,
right?
And he stepped up when everybody else was standing around with their hands crossed, going, "What do I do?" So big shout out to Ben Wolf.
Very good. I love to hear that. Somebody got injured or something, cut or something, and he helped out. Good.
Yep.
Yeah, Ben's a great referee. I've never heard any complaints about his refereeing. He's a really good ref. He's also a promoter. I will say that out loud. He runs Future Titans of Wrestling, and he's also one of my sponsors. So he's a really good guy.
Well, Ben also has an AJ McIntyre T-shirt.
There you go. See, now I'll tell you one thing about Ben Wolf. Like you said, Ben Wolf, we all started as fans first before we did any of our stuff. Before I became a commentator, before you became a wrestler, we were all fans. And Ben Wolf is a fan, and he's a fan of indie wrestling. Even though he runs a company, he'll buy your merch. He will. Yep. He's bought my merch. Your merch. He's bought many of things from wrestlers and managers and everything around the business. Really good guy, and he's a really good promoter. You guys need to check it out and call him. Rodney said, "I want my T-shirt, AJ."
Well, they're available on ACW blogs or the blogs. You go ahead and get the link for that. There's an ACW store. Scott, there's an ACW store, right?
No, I did not know that. And if I did, I would be advertising it for him.
I will have to try to get you the link. Jimmy Mullen actually runs it.
Okay. Well, have Mr. Mullen get a hold of me and send me the link, or you can, and I will get an advertisement up. That would be great.
Yep, I got the Scottish Line AJ McIntyre shirt, and it's in blue. Everybody else's is like white and black. I like the.
Had to do something different,
blue.
Right?
Well, I like the blue. It does good with the satire, or as you call it, a St. Andrew's cross.
I got you. Do you wear your T-shirt out to the ring with your kilt?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Since the inception of the Brotherhood, they've kind of encouraged me to wear the Brotherhood T-shirt because
I got you.
Chris Millen
That
has
makes
Brotherhood
sense.
T-shirts
That
available
makes sense.
too.
I mean, if you're part of a faction, you wear the faction shirt. I get it.
Right, and that's like the music we come out to. If we come out as a group, we come out to the Brotherhood's music. If I come out singular, then I come out to
Your music.
my music, which
Right.
is Bagpipes for War.
There you go. There you go. And they know immediately upon the song playing because the bagpipes started off and everybody knows it's you. Then the boos begin. The boos begin.
All those guys at the COVID factories, when they heard it, they said, "Should I be standing for this?" Because it sounds like the song itself is just an experience. It's almost like you're hearing a Scottish national anthem or something.
Right.
But it's not the Scottish national anthem.
That's great. That's great that people. J.C. Wolf, there you go. Talk about father and son. There's the son, Mr. J.C. Wolf. Nice.
That kid right there's got a good future.
Oh, he's got a great gimmick too. I'm sorry, a great character. You got it correct. You corrected me. He's got a great character.
Yep.
The wolf. He comes out with a wolf mask and the whole. It's not. If you guys have not seen J.C. Wolf come out, you guys have got to see him come out. And
he listens.
And he does. He is a good wrestler. He's going to go somewhere if he keeps going the way he's going.
Mm-hmm.
Without a doubt. And he's part of King Enterprises. I'll put that out there. He's part of King Enterprises. Cool. So he's got a good thing going there, and we're all very proud of him. All of us that know him. We're all very proud of him.
I'll say this because I've been in this business long enough to see a lot of guys go to the big dance. And the one thing that all the guys who went to the big dance did was they asked questions of the veterans. And they listened when the veteran told them something. They didn't say, well, so-and-so said this. You listen to what they tell you. Use what you need. Use what you can use. And what you can't use, you kind of set to the side. Because I promise you might not use it then, but somewhere down the road, you're going to go like, that's why he told me that.
Exactly. What's going on, Ruler? Welcome to Hashtag Truth. We are sitting here talking with AJ MacIntyre. We have been for almost 2 hours. We're going to cut it off in 10 minutes because 2 hours is plenty long. But I'm having fun. If we go over 2 hours, we go over 2 hours. The actual. If you want to know the longest show I've ever had, it was 2 hours and 37 minutes. And that was with Big Country back in the day. I think it was like my first year I did this. So he's got a while to go, but.
Well, I'm one of these guys too. If you want to do it again at some point, let me know because I
will definitely have you back. I love people that tell stories, that give backgrounds to things, and you have told a lot. I mean, we have been in double digits for people watching this show since the beginning. We haven't went under double digits.
The next time you have me on, because it's a long story, remind me to tell you about Rattlesnake Brooks.
Rattlesnake Brooks. I will write it down as soon as we get done. Rhonda Ruff. There we go. Rhonda Ruff. We were just talking about the show the other day at HWA, the Billy Ruff Memorial Cup 5 and 6 that I was a part of, and you can see she's the girlfriend of Shock, who is
I've spoken to her here recently, about that show. I didn't know anything about it, or I would have probably tried to have made it.
Oh, I would have loved to have seen you there, man. There was a lot of good wrestlers there. I have to admit, some that don't frequent HWA a lot, but there was a lot of good guys there. It was a good show from beginning to end. A lot of awards were given out that night. The kids had fun. It was just a great show, and I'm so happy. Thank you, Rhonda, for letting me be a part of it.
All right, you got time for one more question, I guess. Let's see.
JC said, thank you for the praise, and AJ, thank you for all the wise words.
You're welcome, and we're not done, man. We're not done. There's a lot more to learn.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. Ruler said, I am looking forward to November 20th. And Rhonda said, you're welcome. Thank you very much, Rhonda, again. Have you ever came across somebody who is Scottish who has come up and said, you're doing something wrong? I've always wondered that. When you say true, have you ever
I
had
was,
somebody come up and say, you're doing this wrong, your kilt's wrong, or something? Have you ever had a true Scotsman come up and say, if you're wearing something under the kilt, you're wrong?
well, see, the thing with wearing something underneath the kilt has got to do with the regimental Scots, the Scottish Army. And the reason that is because they had to be able to drop trowel at a moment's notice because they were constantly traveling.
Right.
I can tell you a long history about the kilt, where it started out as a great kilt, which was like a huge blanket, and how it ended up getting cut down to the modern kilt by an Englishman. But the thing is, as far as like the accent goes, or I've actually had chieftains at Highland Games before come up and talk to me and start talking to me about things that are actually going on in Scotland at the time. And I'm like, I'm not in Scotland. I'm not from Scotland. I said, my family is. I said, but I've actually never got to visit my family's homeland. The place where they're actually from. I don't tell everybody this.
So are you going to go over there? Is that one of your things on your bucket list, to go over to Scotland, to go to your homeland?
That is on my bucket list. I've actually got friends over there that told me, if I could get the ticket, I'd stay with them. But this is kind of fun. This is the only time I'm ever going to tell anybody this. Okay.
Okay.
All right. I tell everybody that my family is from Glencoe. That is not true. My family is actually from Argyle. But I didn't want, every time someone thinks about Argyle, they always think about socks. And I didn't want to have to explain to people that Argyle was famous for socks.
Right.
So I just, you're playing a character. So yeah, that part's a little bit of a lie. I'll be from Glencoe.
But you're allowed to do that when you're playing a character in wrestling. I mean, it's wrestling, so you get to you hear characters all the time who are doing themed characters that say something that ain't true. You know it's not true. You know
oh yeah. The funniest thing I experienced is, he'll kill me if he ever sees me again. Jerry Lynn. I walked up to Jerry Lynn one time. And I said, Jerry Lynn, I'm 5'11", and it says on your bio that you're 5'10", and the top of your head comes to the bottom of my lip. I said, how tall are you really? He says, don't believe everything you read.
Don't you love it? I love when promoters do stuff like that. You're 5'11", 270.
Jerry Lynn. Yeah.
Oh, you're 5'11", 270. Well, guess what, AJ? Today you're 6'5", 300. Just go with it. Go with it.
Get some of them Frankenstein shoes. It's got the big 4-inch lips or whatever.
Yeah, the platform boots.
Walking like I remember a Kiss. Yeah.
Great. I love it. So one more time before we go, how do promoters get a hold of you? And where can fans find you on Facebook, and where are you going to be at in the near future? I'll get the address real quick because I know it's really
hard. On Facebook,
on
Facebook, I'm just AJ MacIntyre. Like I said, right now my profile is my dog.
Spell it for them, because they're probably going to put the MacIntyre from WWE up there.
Oh no. AJ MacIntyre. It's not McIntyre, it's MacIntyre.
There you go.
Currently, I'm wrestling for Appalachian Championship Wrestling in Vail, North Carolina.
I'm going to find the address. It's here somewhere, but there's been like 200 people that said something. So I got to look through 200 things to find it. I will find it.
It's like 8801.
8818.
18, yeah.
Highway 10, North Carolina.
Vail, North Carolina.
Vail, North Carolina. I know he put it up here. I just can't find it. It just has disappeared.
Big Daddy C put it up. That helps.
Yeah, he did put it up, but I can't find it. I don't know where it's at.
Well, anybody who's having trouble with that, they can do a search for Extreme Fitness and Tanning in Vail, North Carolina, and that is the actual address.
Right. Or you can look up ACW 3 Count on Facebook, and it comes up there with all the information too.
And there is a store where you can get your AJ MacIntyre T-shirt.
I will be posting that soon enough. I'm going to get that information from you after the show, and I did not know that, so I'm going to post that. Also, I'm going to go. I'm pretty sure it's on your Facebook page. I'm going to go and I'm going to share the thing for your puppy.
The GoFundMe.
The GoFundMe.
Miley,
yes.
yeah.
Yes. I'll definitely do that. I promised I'd do that, and I'm definitely going to do that.
And
As a matter of fact, I'm going to pin that to the top of my page for the next 2 weeks.
Thank you.
Pin that to the top of my page.
And I want to say this to the fans out there, whether you love me or you hate me, thanks for watching. And one other thing, go buy one of those #Truth T-shirts, because Scott Larson's a great guy, and he deserves any kind of help anybody can give him.
I appreciate that.
When I'm in a position to do it, I'm going to get one too.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. It's kingsenterprises.store is where you can buy those, and I everybody who has done it or plans on doing it, thank you very much, man. My family, my wife, my kids, all that, appreciate it. I don't know. I know the first surgery is I've got a tumor on my pituitary gland. That's the first one. I've got 3. I got to go up through my nose.
Oh, Lord.
To get that one. So you can look it up, pituitary gland. It's on, you can Google it and it'll show you, it's not real pictures. It's pictures of, cartoons, but they show you what has to be done. And I'm really not looking forward to that, waking up with a bunch of gauze and stuff up my nose. But it's got to be done, or, I'm not going to have any marbles rattling around up there in my head. So,
well, remember Hacksaw Jim Duggan had a brain tumor that was removed too, and
he's still going. He's still going.
Man.
As a matter of fact, he went into surgery last week, and he's going into another one. I believe he's already done it. It's a cancer surgery.
He's done. He's sitting at home recuperating.
Yeah. He put a video out about a week ago saying, catching all the fans up on what's going on. But yeah, that's
he's a good guy.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. So man, I appreciate you coming on, and this has been a pleasure. 2 hours. It's been a long time since I've done 2 hours with anybody, and it didn't seem like 10 minutes, man. This was a great interview. I love your stories. Please come back soon. Maybe we'll have you on in a month, next month or something, and we can do a part 2 to this, because I love the stories, bro.
I'll shoot you a copy of my schedule, and you already know how to read it because I showed you that. And when you're ready for me, just let me know. I'll be there.
I will definitely do that, man. I'm going to end it like this, man. AJ MacIntyre, the Scottish Lion, the man of ACW, the next ACW heavyweight champion, was on #Truth tonight, and you better believe he's going to be coming for that title, and that is the #Truth. We'll see you guys Monday next week. All week got shows Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So we'll catch you guys next week without a doubt. Thank you, AJ. Thank you, everybody, for watching number 301. I appreciate everybody out there. You guys have a great night.